Hey big fella, it's the Heavy DDD Drinking Podcast cast. So, what did you think of my Max Headroom impression? You know what? Suck it, I'm a free app that one of these fat asses downloaded, so have some fucking compassion. That Apple job was mine until Siri blew the boss. I swear to God she's such a slut. Slutty McSlut face. Ugh. Anyways, this little piggy went to market. This little piggy went home. These three little piggies host a podcast. Oh, and Dave, but he's not fat. It's the Heavy Drinking Podcast.
Nothing matters anymore.
No, it's good. I told them it's like they're in the pub. They're in the pub.
Yes.
What's up, everybody? It's the Heavy Drinking Podcast. Back in effect. I'm Jay, here with my cohorts, Jeff.
Hi.
Paulo.
I had funny stuff to say the first two times we did this.
And our producer, who's never getting better at his job, Dave.
Oh, that's so terrible.
We love him so. We love you so. Say hi.
Nothing but love.
Say hi. Say hi.
So this is not totally Dave's fault. I gave him a memory stick, which
gremlin.
Which may or may not have been
Corrupted by your ball
Hunger
sweat.
Games, forever old and probably like 2 kilobytes.
Dave, say hi.
So sorry.
No. We had a little rough start today. We had a little technical difficulties, but we're back.
We've actually been doing this for about a good hour at this point.
A good, which means two.
Hey, shut up. Nobody knows who you are yet. To my right is our very special guest, Jim Lopresti from Lucky Soul Tattoo.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, Jim?
Not much. I'm here. I'm happy.
Here you are.
I'm happy. I'm happy to be here.
We're all happy at this point.
Yeah.
We feel bad that we got you out here and then made you do a whole episode.
I mean, the most frightening experience of this so far, which I thought would be being in this room with all these dudes, it's the fucking sausage party, was the roads, the drive-in. The drive-in.
It is.
You're from the city, right?
A little bit in the middle of nowhere.
You're like a city slicker.
I'm a city slicker. Yeah.
Great movie, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we like to place our lair deep in the woods.
Yeah.
So we can't get found by the cops.
Yes. An interesting location for the Heavy Drinking Podcast.
Yes.
Let's make it as hard as possible to get here, and twice as hard when you leave to get the fuck out of here. It's like, all right, it was good seeing you. Hope you like those 10 beers you had.
A truly funny observation.
And new rule we just figured out in the garage. When you knock on the door, when you come in, instead of saying hi, just please say not a cop.
What is it?
First.
Not a
cop.
Not a cop. Oh.
And then whatever salutation.
Sounds like a Portuguese pastry.
I mean, I walked up to the front door with the broken
Not a
doorbell,
cop,
and
the doorbell's not there.
Yeah.
So, Jim, tell us a little about yourself and what you do. Again.
I am a tattoo artist.
Not
That's
just
it.
a tattoo artist.
I'm a tattoo artist.
So you own Lucky Soul Tattoo. How long have you been tattooing, and how long have you owned your own shop?
Tattooing for about 23 years, and Lucky Soul's been around since 2001, so I guess we're coming up on 16, 17 years. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Craziness. Time flies when you're drinking beer with you guys.
You can tell your partner that we're sorry when you get home.
Okay, I will. Sorry, Jeff.
I wish.
Yeah.
Meow.
Where are you guys located?
Lucky Soul's in Woodbridge. We were in Ansonia, which is obviously where I met you
Connecticut.
guys. Yes. Yes.
We have at least one Canadian listener.
Yeah, it's my fucking
yeah,
sister,
all right,
dude.
okay,
It's not
all
like
right,
she knows where we live.
Shut up, Jeff. Don't give away our secrets.
The shop's in Woodbridge now. We've been out there for about 6 years.
Connecticut.
6 years.
Shout out to Jen.
Connecticut.
United States.
Not to be confused with Canada.
Is it Connecticut in Canada?
That's
No. But there's an Oakville in Connecticut.
Connecticut.
There is an Oakville in Connecticut.
There's an Oakville in Canada.
There's one there, too?
Connecticut.
Yeah.
Kind of jumping the gun.
It's a unique name. You'd actually, the requirement would be you'd need another Indian tribe somewhere where a river ran through it.
I saw that
get
movie.
that-
That's a
All
good
in my
movie.
mind.
That's what Connecticut means.
Was that River Phoenix?
No.
I think it was Brad Pitt.
I think it was
Shout out to
no,
River
no.
Phoenix.
A river
river
runs
runs
through
through
it
it?
is River Phoenix.
Is it really?
I thought Brad Pitt
Come
was in
on. I thought it was Mel Gibson. I don't know. Whatever.
Great movie.
Speaking of Nazis, what's going on in Virginia?
We said we weren't going to talk about it.
Just for the record, I don't want to talk about it, but I just leave the statues there and just dress them in drag.
They're good. That's it.
Right?
It's downhill from here. I don't want to talk about it, but speaking of butts,
Because if you put them in a museum, you can't dress them in drag. That's all I'm trying to say.
I don't know what that means. We aren't going to talk about that, but we do want to. Jim's here to talk about some really cool stuff. And first of all,
twice as cool.
Twice as cool as it was last time.
We're definitely looser, though.
And totally more interesting than
looser.
Robert E.
I
Lee in the
feel looser.
tutu.
It's free flowing.
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing. Now that I've heard the whole story,
I'm drinking a Corona.
I can ask more interesting questions because I know the answers. Yeah. So, Jim.
Yes. Yes, Jim.
So you have an art show coming up.
That is correct.
And
Tell me more.
I heard about it once, and it sounded really cool.
Yeah, you should have got your ass to the first one, by the way.
Well, I didn't. Okay, tell the story, and then I'll tell you. Well, never
Tell me
mind.
more.
Tell us about your art show.
I'm sure the reason that you weren't at the art show is going to be way more interesting than my story about the art show.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't interesting. It was just if I tell it now, it's a spoiler alert. So, tell your version of it.
Okay, the art show coming up, which is the second one, Upcycle Helmet Art Show. In a nutshell, vintage motorcycle helmets distributed to a bunch of my friends to do whatever they want with. Paint, some people are painting, some guys are sculpting stuff on these things, and it's a group art show, and it's going to be at a brewery, which is awesome in its own right. And
What brewery?
This upcoming show is at Counterweight in Hamden, Connecticut.
Which is a brewery that I'm just hearing about now.
Yes.
I've actually not been there. Jay, you've been there?
I've not been there, but I've tried their beers.
Dave's been there. You've been there, obviously.
So yeah.
I was only there for like 2 minutes to pick up beer for today.
But from what it sounds like, sounds pretty cool. It's got 2 different tasting rooms. That's
two,
pretty amazing.
downstairs and upstairs, both about the same size, I believe. So Counterweight is we'll backtrack. The first art show that we had was at NEBCO in Woodbridge, which is our neighbors. Shout out to NEBCO.
Yeah, they're right behind
neighbors
your
to
tattoo shop,
Lucky
right?
Soul Tattoo.
Neighbor of the Beast.
Neighbor of the Beast.
Someone
They are.
6'8".
Yes. Yeah.
They're old.
They're Neighbor of the Beast, and we are the Beast.
They're old.
Holy shit! I never thought of that.
Yes.
They have a beer called Neighbor of the Beast, and he's literally the neighbor.
Yes.
That's fucking awesome.
But we love NEBCO.
Their address used to be 668, whatever road that is, and that's why it was Neighbor of the Beast.
I thought they just made that up.
No, they're 668
Oh, so it's not just a clever name.
Avenue.
Yes.
So you had the first one in NEBCO. How many artists were at that one?
The first show had about 24 artists. And it came about like Craig from New England, who was a good friend of ours, gets tattooed at the shop.
Craig is awesome.
I was in NEBCO one day grabbing some growlers, and he was setting up an art show, hanging stuff on the walls. I said, "Hey, what's going on, man?" I said, "Oh, we're going to feature artists once a month at the brewery." I said, "Oh, all right, okay." So the idea was kind of brewing in my head, like that. And I say, "Hey, listen, I got this idea. What do you think? I want to do the show at NEBCO." So okay, so it took a little convincing because the tricky thing about this was how are we going to display these things? We're not putting nails on the walls and hanging paintings on the wall. But it came together. We had the first show, and it was a crazy, crazy big success. And here we are doing another one in September.
Take us through how it started again. Where are you sourcing the helmets from? And
the
first one it was a pet project, right?
The helmets I started collecting old helmets, which is kind of where the name Upcycle came from, because I decided to utilize vintage helmets. Most of these things are from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I think we had one that was like fucking 30 plus years old. So I started collecting them, and then I said, "Hey, no, we got to do something with these things. They're hanging around in a basement, an attic, somebody's basement, collecting dust, and they're just too cool. There's a lot of history behind them. So why not, paint something rad on them and put them on display?"
What do you do with them after the show?
It's up to the artist. So a lot of them are priced for sale at the shows. Some of the artists involved, they don't want to sell them. So they go back. They're on display. They go back to the artist. Basically, it's up to them. What they want to do with them.
And you said the artists are sourced from just the general community, tattoos and artists and people.
Yeah. Most of the a good amount of people involved are friends of mine that are fellow tattoo artists. Just general, all around artists, painters, sculptors, and creative makers of the sort.
How many did you say were this year?
The next show coming up, there's going to be 30 helmets on display. So
Sweet.
yeah.
I saw.
unique helmets.
Right.
Yeah,
I saw some of the,
It's not this year. He's actually doing 2 shows in 1 year because he's crazy.
Wait,
Well-
the last show was this year?
The first show was in March.
Oh.
Of 2017.
and
Okay.
of this year, and it's the only reason I pushed to do another one before the year was out was because the interest. It was the people involved, the artists, and then the people that came to see the show. I mean, everyone that was involved that painted or did something with a helmet was like, "This was awesome. This was different. Like, when are you going to do it again?" So I don't know. So I and a lot of, because it was something so new and it was so experimental, and everyone was kind of like, wow, this is really challenging. A lot of the artists that did helmets said, oh man, I got this other idea. I want to do another one. So that's how the second show came about.
Cool. And it's like, I'm sure it's a lot of admin to like put together, but at the same time, it's like not the end of the world, right? You can put it together relatively easily once you get the space.
Relatively. The first show I took about 3 months to prep and figure out how I was going to display stuff. That was tricky.
But once you figured that out.
Yeah, so going into this one, it's now that I have the experience of setting up the show, it'll be a little bit easier. But and we like this one coming up, we beefed it up. The first one was the show itself and good beer and good folk, and now it's bigger. We got a food truck this time. We got a band playing. We're doing a raffle to raise some money for a organization that donates to injured bikers. So that's an awesome thing.
That's a near and dear to your heart.
Absolutely. Yes. And like I said, the show came about because I was fighting the winter blues. I couldn't ride. I said, damn, I need something motorcycle related and something to get me through the winter.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't be able to come up with something like that. Not that I'm an artist in any way, shape, or form, but I mean,
you guys
It's pretty
know me.
rad to see all the different helmets though too. Like
Yeah,
when you first told me about it and you wanted to do like the video and shit. Like I didn't really even know what to expect. And then like we started doing some interviews and like I started seeing like the different helmets and stuff. It's pretty like the diversity of all the different like mediums that people are used to using and bringing them into the motorcycle.
I think the thing about this show that makes it unique, and I can't say it's not a completely original idea. Painting helmets, that's been around for a while.
Yeah, I've seen like Star Wars ones.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the thing that makes it unique is the fact that the artwork is done on vintage helmets. So I personally haven't seen anything like that, especially on the East Coast. So it's unique in its own self.
And not to knock the art from the first year because it's beautiful, but
yeah,
you guys stepped it up like another notch this year. I saw one helmet had like a skull integrated into the front of it, like a spine going back down. Yeah. It was pretty neat.
That's actually from the first show.
Is that from the first show?
Well, it could be. I know that
they haven't had the second one yet.
Kevin.
Well, no, but I think it was somebody was showing.
You're right. There's glimpses on Instagram, and Kevin did
he's doing another.
There is a
3D
skull
print?
involved
No
in that.
shit.
Yeah. So, but that's
spoiler alert.
Yeah, they were pretty neat.
But that's the thing that pushed people to do these like really unique things. It wasn't just like putting a brush to a helmet. It was sculpture and a bunch of really creative ideas going on.
So Dave just made mention of filming stuff for interviews and stuff. Dave's making a documentary about the show.
Yeah.
Were you talking about you were there last year too doing this? So it's going to be a two-part documentary or from both shows?
No, basically like Jim like hit me up. He's like, hey, I want to kind of do some stuff with this art show. Well, first we were talking about doing my sleeve at his shop and setting up some appointments. Then we were like, oh, fuck, let's go get some beers. He's like, I got something I want to talk to you about. So we just went over. And
I'm pregnant.
You're like, don't touch my dick anymore.
I mean, I was hoping, but it didn't go that way. But he was like, hey, he told me about the art show he had coming up. And this was like, the art show was scheduled for like mid-March. And this was
probably over the winter before,
yeah,
because
we were talking about, we started doing my sleeve in November. So I want to say this was like, even the September of October of last year.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And that was before the first one then.
Yeah. So he was telling me about it and I was like, oh, this could be really cool. He's like, is there any way we can like kind of document it? I was like, actually, yeah, let's put together some some interviews. I was like, we'll talk to
that's
you.
my
We'll talk to
question.
a couple artists.
So the first interviews that you did were from the original show.
Yes.
Okay.
So originally it was. Oh, that was me. Sorry. Originally it was just for getting some promos for the first show. We put out a couple promos. We did one with Craig. We did one with Jim. I think we did one with another one of the artists. And from there, it just kind of spiraled into, well, why don't we just keep this going? I'll come to the show. I'll get some footage, and we'll get some after footage, and like kind of make it a little doc.
I mean,
and this is before he was even thinking about doing the second one.
Right.
I think it was like just the development of how everything was coming together. I was like, we should really be like documenting this stuff. Like I didn't even know what to expect. And,
so it came from like doing a few promos.
You didn't even know what it was going to be while you started doing it.
Yeah. So from what came from like doing a few promos for the show and all that kind of stuff turned into what's now literally up on my computer at home right now. Right now it's about a 15-minute doc. I'm trying to get that down to about 5 or 6 minutes.
That's where all our storage went.
So what are you trying to make it like 20, 25 minutes?
No.
No, trying
5,
to condense
6.
it.
Yeah.
No, I mean like with this year's added in.
No, I don't think we're gonna add anything.
I think
this one.
Yeah, I mean the documentary is more so of like
It's more just explaining what the show is,
how it came into development,
an artist perspective, and just kind of like an overview synopsis of kind of what.
And a good thing to release before we do the second show.
He said release. I didn't go to the last one because I didn't know it was yours.
Oh,
I genuinely thought that you joined
hates
somebody
art.
else's show.
Oh.
Because I hate what?
art.
Yeah, I hate art.
I don't know who
now
art
you
is,
know,
but
Jeff.
Yeah,
Now
I honestly didn't know it was you. I thought that that like somebody else's was like throwing a show and you just like were.
I know
showing
it
up.
was the first one was really rad, and I'm actually looking forward to the second one.
Well,
'cause-
fucking I am too now. Tell us where again it is and what the date it's going to be.
The second show is at Counterweight Brewing in Hamden, Connecticut. It's September 17th, noon to 5, family friendly.
Ooh.
Oh, fuck it. I'm not coming anymore.
I mean, there's beer there. We've
We've had a whole discussion about whether kids should be let in breweries or not
Yeah,
on
we've
the
talked
previous
about
episode.
Yeah.
We're all against it. Spoiler alert. But speaking of Counterweight, Dave stopped by earlier today so that we could use Counterweight as the beer we try this week. And
This is true.
Awesome.
And so this week, we have Void Oatmeal Stout from Counterweight Brewing Company.
it's fucking delicious.
Yeah, it smells fantastic.
It is.
It pours a nice beige head, thick. beige head.
It's
Yana, can I get an alcohol count on that, please?
It is. Let's see what we're weighing in at. 7% alcohol.
Jesus.
That's big. I mean, that's big. It's nice. Let's give it a little
sippity-dippity.
blurb. Did I say it better this time?
Blurp.
Void. The name of the beer is Void. Void utilizes 6 malts to create rich chocolate, caramel, and pronounced coffee-like flavors.
That's
From
for
within
sure.
its darkness, it is a very dark beer. If you
Very
hold it up to the light, you get
coffee-flavored.
no like tones of like a ruby or anything. It's dark. Light roasty undertones accompany a full viscous mouthfeel. Opening a void may inspire more voids
viscous.
to be
Inspire more
opened.
voids.
Like your asshole?
Whoa.
Wow, that's a good write-up. I like that.
Well, unless they mean you're going to get diarrhea from drinking.
That would be where the viscous would come in.
However, I'm going to go on
It would've
record
been
and
the first
say,
time.
worth it.
So oats lend a very big mouthfeel to a beer when you add it. It makes it very creamy, velvety, which this definitely has, I would say.
You like that creamy velvet ahead,
Yeah.
don't you?
A lot of times when you use oats in a stout, you could toast them. I mean, sometimes they toast them, sometimes they don't. I believe that, in my opinion, I think it adds a little more complexity to it. Sometimes a lot of people say it just like dries out some oils from the grain, but I think it adds a little more layer of flavor. One of my favorites is Ipswich Oatmeal Stout from Ipswich. in
That's a great beer,
Massachusetts.
actually. Yeah, I love that.
But this is
killer.
very fantastic.
This is good. And I mean, I'm kind of famous with you guys for not really enjoying stouts or porters, but it's tasty.
No, it's
I think
delicious.
the finish is nice too. It's not like a real bitey thing. So
No.
I know a lot of stouts. To me, they're good, and you're kind of like
It's actually more
At the
up,
end of it.
you-
That's how
yeah,
I feel about IPAs.
It's there up front. But
No,
then it
IPAs,
kinda-
I feel like I drink it and then I go,
yeah. But you get those roasty notes up front from
You would
it.
think
but
he
it's
likes it
not
'cause it
bitter
reminds
in
him
the
of cotton.
end.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it the IPA or is it COCK?
You get
I
the
only like those
maltiness.
going in, not coming out.
I'd
get
like
a-
a double COCK.
You
Please.
get a little dryness from it in the end too. It's nice with a really nice mouthfeel, creamy.
Whose is this little taster right here?
Well, that was Jay's, but then he poured himself.
That was
some.
mine, but he gave me half a can
That's
of beer, so I
Jack's.
poured it into a bigger glass.
That's Jack's.
Oh,
I figured.
This is,
I figured someone would drink it.
This is equally on par. This is equally on par with the mixed cassette Gazette.
The mixtape
Yeah,
Grisette
yeah.
was what we tried to taste in our first run, but they fucked up.
Oh, we didn't try. I tasted it.
We were gonna not
was-
bring that up and just pretend like this never happened.
No,
Well,
but
I mean, there's something to be said about a second run because
We-
we're feeling
Yeah.
twice as happy.
It's
Yeah.
flowing
Drunk is the
quick.
word you're looking for.
Twice as
We're
happy.
20 minutes in, we're
We're
just
twice
killing
as
it.
many beers in.
We're happy.
We did try the mixtape Grisette from Counterweight earlier, and it was very
Fucking
nice, very refreshing.
delicious.
It was.
Saison-like, which a Grisette comes from the same kind of base in a sense, but usually you're using some kind of spelt in a Grisette. And
Yeah.
different types of
Can you spell
like-
spelt?
spelt SPELT.
They have witches?
They had spelt and oats and white wheat in that beer.
One time
Yeah.
I tried to
And
White
spell
magic.
spell grisette and I couldn't spell it.
GRISSETTE, I believe, is how you spell Grisette.
So wait,
We're not going to bore you with the history, but like farmer people made that shit for miners.
Well, yeah.
boring.
Well,
And
yeah.
a bunch of other poor people, and I'm just like, fuck that shit. Everybody should have it.
Well, the difference was saisons were for the farm, like people that work the farms, and the grisettes was what the miners
Would
worked.
grab on the way out of the mine,
miners
right?
drank, yeah.
Yeah, you didn't die. Here's a beer.
And the grisettes harken back to
Congratulations, you made it another
the
day.
ladies in gray
Yeah.
coifs or whatever they wore.
Which sounds cheery.
That served that.
So those bright and
you know,
lively people.
were there serving those beers.
It's pronounced queef.
Jim, what's going on with this whole tattoo school?
Oh,
Conjure.
Just jump right into it. There's no
Jump right in.
segue.
No segue. We're fucking hitting the points.
so the tattoo school is a development from this guy from Jersey,
Nothing
Oh,
good. comes from
automatically.
Jersey.
aka some douchebag.
We love you, Paulo.
Ultimately, it's just, I mean, it's going against the grain of tradition and respect. And, you know, this guy is just trying to bastardize what tattooing has always been about, which is a 2 feet in, a committed person to a traditional apprenticeship and doing things, you know, the right way. You got to, you know, to find out if it's really for you and get in there and commit yourself to one tattoo shop, sweep the fucking floor, mop the floor, show us that you want to do it. And then
Throw out the paper towels with blood on them.
yeah, fuck yeah. But I mean, the concept is actually genius, and it's you know, with the traditional tattooers like myself are kind of we're not digging it. That's the bottom line. We're just not digging it. So we
Is it because you're old?
that is probably a good part of it. Old being, if you want to say, you know, rooted in some kind of respect and tradition. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm fucking old.
Old in the tattoo.
Old in the
lingo is a good thing.
and I'm not. I mean, there's guys I respect. These, you know, people have been tattooing 40, 50 years, and now there's this new generation of old school guys. Me being one, I guess. I don't know, but
I mean, there's like some of the legends in tattoos have been dead for 20, 30 years already.
yeah, and these guys paved the way with a traditional apprenticeship, and you know, blood, sweat, and tears, and now it's you know, come to our tattoo school, pay this amount of money, and we'll get you going, and we're gonna get your career started. And a lot of these people showing interest in doing it, they don't even have visible tattoos. That was a commitment. You know, back in the day, it was like, you really want? How bad do you want this?
Yeah.
Okay, hang around the shop, get some tattoos, and show us how committed you are, and then we'll go from there. You know, so.
Well, I love that. There's, I don't know if I've seen it on Instagram, but definitely back in the day on Facebook, there was always that picture that was like early, like first tattoos in the like 40s and now first tattoos now. And it's like in the 40s, it was just like under your t-shirt and like your arms weren't done, your hands weren't done. And now it's like you start at the sleeve of your t-shirt and go down your hands.
Because we're so vain.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's two angles to this whole tattoo school thing. One being the traditions and the integrity of the art, and just saying, like, you know, this just isn't cool. The other side is like, what is this guy doing? Is he following everything that Connecticut requires of him? And those are the things we're as protesters and traditional tattooists that have been around in Connecticut for a while are trying to get to the bottom of. because we have to do that stuff. We got to pay fees. We got to licensing and all that bullshit.
You got to go to classes.
And this guy he's coming from Jersey. He's coming into New Haven, and he's opening a school and a business, and he's going to hire people from out of state. And it's like
now. But at the same time,
yeah.
he's coming in. He opens up a legit shop and school, right?
Yes.
The state has to approve that.
They have to approve it. Yeah.
With one of the things of your kind of protest being like, I just don't like him because he's not traditionalist, and I want to make sure that he's doing everything that the state is requiring.
Yeah, for sure.
Isn't that kind of just assuming he's not because you don't like him, even though he's got all the required? Like he's obviously the state's obviously.
If I can interject,
that's
you should never tattoo Dave again.
No, it's actually really.
Someone's got to play devil's advocate.
I'll take those appointments.
It's actually a really good point. And the trickiest thing with tattooing, it's always been, and it's only really getting dialed in within the last 4 or 5 years, is a gray area. The people are like, health inspectors come in and they say, well, what about this? Or what are you doing here? What are you doing? And we're educating them. So things are catching up a little bit. Now there's things in place. You have to have a certain amount of hours under your belt for an apprenticeship. You have to have a license from Connecticut. So we're looking into that with what this guy is doing with this particular school in New Haven. So
what is his, like, I'm sure he's, not necessarily with you personally, but like, I'm sure he's done interviews or whatever. Like, what's his stance on does he recognize that there is a faction of the community that
absolutely
that he's doing something shitty?
Absolutely. If you find some stuff on YouTube, there's interviews with him. I mean, it's purely motivated by the dollar. He in interviews, he's completely admitted that. He said, some of the quotes are, it's $1 million idea. And I've made more money opening tattoo schools than I ever did with any tattoo shop. From his own mouth, I had 3 failing tattoo shops. Well, you're doing something fucking wrong.
Yeah.
So he decides
especially New Jersey. Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of my other point too, though, is if he already had 3 failing tattoo shops, now he's trying to teach people because he's just trying to make money. Yep. Isn't that just kind of the American way? Just find a way to make money.
Of course it is.
Can we agree that Dave Navarro is probably to blame?
I would, yes, 100%.
You can't just get tattoos of anything.
But at the same time, so
come on,
say
Dave.
he's already have like 3 fucking 3 shops that are like failing and all that kind of shit. That kind of brings me to the point where like, all right, he's teaching all these kids that aren't really gonna know. He's the only one that's gonna hire them.
Yes.
So isn't it just kind of gonna eat itself?
Well, you're saying it's buyer beware.
That's the thing.
You're
gonna get a shitty tattoo from this shitty person who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. Like, it's gonna eat itself anyway.
I mean,
from consumer basis.
I'm assuming he's a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
The guy is not a tattoo
Wait,
artist.
how did he have shops if he wasn't? He was just hiring fucking tattooers?
Because this is America, and you could start a business
pretty
doing
much
anything you want.
And his idea and this whole school thing is really based in a pyramid scheme. We looked into it. So he gets a school going. He hires people that don't have too much experience to end up being teachers, but they also have a responsibility. Each of those people need to get 5 new apprentices, and it's built up.
That's
So
literally a pyramid scheme.
It is a pyramid scheme, yeah. So it comes down to the dollar amount. Is it completely wrong? No, I mean, like you said, it's the American way. From a point of view of like just not being a douchebag, it sucks. But can you do it? Sure.
The problem is you're crossing 2 different demographics here. Like, yes, it's the American way. Like, you can start a business, you can make your own money. But the problem is that his business is art, and art isn't the same as like a fucking manufacturing company. Like,
no, but at the same time, you can't say what art is.
Well, it's certainly I could certainly argue that it's not art to like open a school for money.
It's essentially like Herbalife for tattoos. So
or supercuts. I like the
supercuts. Yeah, supercuts is a better analogy.
So no, Herbalife's pretty good too. Look into that, by the way. Anyway, listening to this.
Wait, do you need to recruit me for the pyramid scheme?
Yeah, you do. You do.
Yeah.
How many more?
No, you essentially you drink a green shake and you starve yourself, and you lose weight.
If you just starve yourself, you lose weight. You don't have to
but the green shake though.
If you guys need like 200 rolls of toilet paper, I'm your guy. By the way.
Wait, what?
Agway, man. You remember that shit?
No,
I'm old.
No. I'm older than you.
Yeah, everyone in this room is older than you.
That's true. I'm the youngest.
Agway.
It was like the first.
Agway's like the fucking like the
That's
like the Home
local.
Depot.
No.
No, that's
Benedict Agway.
No, Agway was like another thing too, though, right?
No, you're thinking of Amway.
Amway.
Agway is like a
He's
fucking
talking about
Home Depot.
Amway.
Agway is like a nursery.
I was a consonant away.
Yeah,
Agway is actually awesome. They have really good shrubs.
they do.
Amway.
I get-
Amway.
A shrubbery.
Mulch.
They have high
Bird
quality.
feeders.
They have high quality crack corn.
And I apologize to the
Does
local.
Jimmy sell it?
They got some
Connecticut
bomb ass.
local business.
They got some bomb ass Hutch 18 feed too.
And then Amway.
All my rabbit folk out there.
Sweet mulch.
I feel like I'm giving you guys too much information.
All right, Dave, play the song.
What song is that? Oh, that song. It's been so long, I forgot about this.
Oh,
It's adult adult. Everybody
You know,
knows
the
what
best
that
part
means.
you know the best part about this is? We're all rocking out, and there's somebody else in the room that's standing here without headphones on. Has no fucking clue.
Adult adult is normally the part in the show where we talk about interesting things in porn. However, nobody had anything interesting this week, so I'm going to tell about my
An adult experience.
my adult experience. So I just got back off a 10-day trip with my mom and my sister.
Not a good segue.
I was on a boat.
especially into a segment about.
I was on a boat in a
porn.
200 square foot room.
A motherfucking boat.
So when I got home, I was pretty backed up, and I don't know if you guys have like waited 10 days to jerk off in a long time,
I've done that before.
but it's a fucking mess.
No, I'm just joking.
It really is. Like I thought I was gonna have to set up my room like Dexter's like fucking kill room with like plastic everywhere, but it was pretty brutal.
Instead, there were socks everywhere.
I don't use those. I just catch it in my mouth.
just stiff socks.
And it was good seeing you guys. I'll see you later.
But my question is, what's the longest in recent memory that you've gone without
Without any release.
Yeah.
From the time I drove up to this place.
Until 3 minutes ago.
I mean, that's why I've got the lower counter here. I'm like,
Actually, I'm gonna say a few days, just because I'm not sure.
10 days was pretty brutal. Well,
yeah,
the thing is, though,
I can't say 10 days.
I was so busy during those 10 days that I didn't notice like every day.
You're too busy with your mom.
Well, I was busy just doing things.
You sick.
It's not like it was like it's not like it was on my mind constantly. But when I got home,
I'm pretty sure you're to blame for global warming. With your
What?
what? I don't know.
Well,
Friction? Are you talking about friction?
Yeah, friction. Was
friction,
He
yeah.
was like humping the glaciers.
well,
Yeah.
actually, do you want to know? You could fade that out because
You're like, take this, Antarctica.
When I got back to Seattle, they actually wouldn't let us off the boat because eco terrorists were trying to sabotage the boats.
Echo Terrace.
Yeah,
They're like, I'm gonna fuck a tree.
Now, what are they about?
like Greenpeace and stuff like that.
They wreak terror?
Save the whales. Or
Like
kill the whales.
Well, they go out to whaling ships and like try to like sink them and stuff.
That's not good for the environment.
I thought they just went out there and like yelled.
No, they're like militant, but they tried to when we docked, they tried to. So the day before we were there, apparently a boat was going out and they tried to like basically sink it.
What were they? What were they in?
Could I ask
the
what kind
what?
of technology they're employing?
Were they in boats?
Dude, you just sounded like a sinking ship. Dude, like if somebody saved Paulo, there's a fucking eco terrorist in here. Ah!
So
They're
when
fucking
my boat got in,
hypocrites. They're in their own boats.
when my boat got in, we were trying to deboard or whatever you call it, and the fuel boats come up to like refill them,
Yeah.
and they were trying to fill the fuel with like stuff that
Why?
would shut the boat down.
Is there like a boat size limit? Did they?
Well, they're saying that cruise ships are like destroying the environment.
And their little pussy boats aren't?
Well, I guess not.
Pussy boats.
Those are their little
Actually,
They
boats,
probably
right?
are because they're probably
I
little
would
fucking
pay
like
to-
two-stroke engines.
Well, yeah, exactly.
what's
Like
with
the
that?
cruise ships are probably like
I would pay for a
clean
cruise
turbine
on
engines,
that,
and the
Jim.
two-stroke
Yeah.
bullshit's like leaking oil all over the fucking place.
Speaking of Jeff jerking off, two-stroke engines.
Listen.
I got a boner.
It's the first time that's made sense.
So yeah, it was really weird. Like they were, they actually like the captain came on and was like, "Yeah, we can't leave because the cops are." And then we saw like all the Seattle harbor boats were like chasing off the Greenpeace boats, and they wouldn't let us off.
Dude, are they only on the water?
Well, no. So the terminal, there's like a cruise terminal,
Yeah.
and like we happen to have balcony cabin that was starboard side. So we were facing the cruise terminal when we were parked there. Yeah. And if you looked out, there was like a bomb squad, like dudes in like full bomb gear, and like they'd shut the whole street down. They were turning cabs around on the street and stuff. So I think that they had like a bomb scare in the terminal, but I think that was just to distract their attention from the fuel boat that they were trying to sabotage. Yeah, it was really fucking weird.
Those people, like you don't see those people on land. Well, like, are they hanging out at like a Citgo waiting for a fucking Hummer to pull up so they can jump in front of the pump?
I mean, that's probably what they do in their spare time.
No.
But when they organize, they're going to get
like, who's not waiting for a Hummer?
You know what I mean.
I don't wait for them.
Is that a school bus? Let me jump in front of that.
I don't know how to take that joke.
But yeah, it was weird. It was actually weird. And then when I got back to the SeaTac, to the airport, I started seeing all this stuff that was like riots going down in like downtown Seattle and stuff. And I thought it was like spillover from the Greenpeace weirdos, but it ended up being spillover from Virginia, and there was they were like tear gassing people and stuff.
Well, the funny part was I think it was in Seattle, a bunch of alt writers went and protested to have a statue of Lenin removed.
Vladimir Lenin or John Lennon?
No, Vladimir Lenin. Oh, and it was a statue, I guess, that when the empire toppled, it got sent to like a junkyard essentially, and a teacher bought it and had it shipped to, I believe it was somewhere in Washington. I believe it was Seattle, but
it's pronounced Washington.
Washington. But they were protesting it to get it taken down.
Test.
The only problem is that it's not on public property.
Yeah,
it's on somebody's private property.
Right.
And they dress it up in drag all the time. So it wasn't bought and erected to like praise him. It was kind of bought and erected to
well,
to kind of just dress it funny and make fun of him.
Speaking of Seattle,
which leads me to my idea of don't get rid of Confederate statues, just dress them in drag.
Brilliant.
I don't think that the neo-Nazi
skills are no match for the power of the dark side.
I don't think that the neo-Nazis who are upset that they're getting pulled down would be any more okay with you putting a dress on them.
No, it's a compromise.
I don't think it works like
that. They
stay
up, but we just get to dress them in weird stuff.
But speaking of Seattle,
it's still there.
When I was there was a whole lot of stuff, a ton of stuff. Like, it's really popular. I've never been there before, and I've never seen this. But they talk about Sasquatch everywhere. Like, apparently he lives around there.
Well, Pacific Northwest is.
I thought he lived around here somewhere, but I didn't realize he was PNW. But like, that leads me to my next point, which is on the board. There's something that says Sasquatch sexual assault. And
yes,
I was there for a whole week, and he never tried anything with me.
What's wrong with
ironically is not.
What's wrong with my leg, Tiki?
Throwback.
So ironically, Sasquatch did not try and rape someone in the Pacific Northwest, but rather in Colorado. Oh. Apparently, there was a hunter who was walking back to his cabin trying to figure it out if it had any damage from winter. And some large, 8-foot tall, hairy, humanoid creature jumped out of the tree and punched him in the face.
That dude. Yeah, man.
And
punched him in the face.
And when he came to, it was ripping off his pants and his underwear.
When he came also?
Yes.
That sounds like a man who succumbed to some urges with a 5'8".
I like that Paulo thinks that the
5'8"
past tense of
Caucasian
succumb
man,
is succumb.
not a 6'2" Sasquatch, and then regretted it afterwards.
So I'm gonna need some backstory on this. What newspaper did you read that at?
It was some local Colorado paper.
AintItCoolNews.com.
Probably.
I think
he was like, my asshole hurts, but it's totally cool. I got a whole story about it.
HOLE.
It was not Dale, the dude that went camping with me. It was totally a Sasquatch.
It's a Sasquatch, boy.
So this dude actually reports it to the cops and like says, I got like sexually assaulted by a Sasquatch. And like the official statement from the police in the paper is like, yeah, we believe it might have just been a really large, hairy man that he had an encounter with.
And they're called bears.
And
we are called bears.
Yeah,
and
we
if
are.
anyone has any information on the perp, please let us know.
Right to Harry and the Hendersons at Warner Brothers Entertainment, 1987.
Great movie.
Really is.
Shout out to Sam Squanch. Yeah, they have like
He's
tons of
like-
merch. They have all sorts of merch that's like gone squatching. There's like they have like field notes, like notes that you go like hiking and write in it and stuff, and it says like Squatch notes and
Squatch notes.
Yeah, it's just so stupid.
Yeah, he probably just went out there, got experimental, got home freaked out, didn't know if the blood was, hemorrhoids or a side effect.
Licked some weird frog. Just lost his goddamn
licked a
mind for
frog.
like a day.
Yeah,
What? Okay,
it's
let's walk this through logically.
buyer's remorse.
If you lick a frog and you wake up and your asshole's 3 times the size it was before you licked that frog, I can't imagine a lot of different things I could explain that with.
Yeah,
It's got to be a Sasquatch.
It could literally be anything though, because those frogs are really
Have huge dicks.
Wait, because why?
Those frogs have
frog dick.
huge dicks. You're an idiot.
I almost hit a frog on the way here, actually.
I've seen them. They jump.
I fucking
Because you're not in the city.
seen
We're
it.
not in the city.
I
seen it.
there's like a billion
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. This is our
Here we
segment.
are. It's the Sippin Tea
Sippin'
segment.
Tea.
What is the Sippin Tea segment?
Well, let's fill you in. There's a man, and his
From
name
Florida.
is XXX Tentacion, and he sings this song. If you can call it singing, it's actually I'm actually really into it. At this
I
point.
love this
I really
song.
like it. Oh, big words. But we started talking to him because somebody played it for Jay, and he thought it was ridiculous, so he played it for us. And then every single week we've done a podcast, he's been like in the news, the guy that sings it. So now we have a segment called Sippin' Tea,
In the news.
and he was in the news again this week.
Because the hook is this. What the fuck is up? Bitch, I'm sipping tea in your hood. What the fuck is up? Bitch, I'm sipping tea in your everybody. What the fuck is up? So this week he had a song go. First off, he had
great, bitch!
he had a song go platinum this
Lift him,
week.
motherfucker.
You're welcome.
His
Yeah,
You're
right?
welcome.
He went platinum because we fucking shout him out.
his album, his hit record, "Look at Me," has earned platinum status.
Look at us.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
After it released a single on January 29th, 2016. So he's gone platinum this year. So that's news. He also has a new record coming out on the 25th or 6th of this
Yes.
month. He's going to drop a new record.
Bitch, I'm
so
sipping
white.
coffee in your house.
But the story that drew my attention was a Canadian teenager,
Shout out to Canada.
Canada of all places, happened to hook up his phone or whatever to the soundboard at his local church that he went to in the middle of their
Service.
He literally just walked up to the altar, essentially, is what this story said.
Did he
And-
push the priest over by his face?
No, he played it through the sound system. He played his song "Look at Me" through the sound system in the middle of the service at this church in Canada.
It would have been better if he just walked up to the altar and it was like,
Oh, now you can do it.
Oh, now you can hit it right. But
The priest was like, "That's
What
what
does
bitch, I'm
Look at Me
sipping wine."
but he played this in the middle of it, and he's actually faced charges for it. They've actually filed charges against him, and he got arrested.
What are the
for playing?
Well, what's
What are
the
the
actual?
charges?
Yeah, what is the charge?
Yeah, you can't do anything spontaneous in Canada. It's like one of the rules.
I forgot what the charges were because I just changed. I just changed the page, but I'm going to read the lyrics. So imagine being in a nice Christian service.
When I was
and,
in Canada last week, in one of the tourist traps, there was a bunch of shirts that says Canada politeness world champion since 1947.
Yeah, that's how it is there. You could play along, but it's like, oh, be spontaneous. No, it's against the law.
I'm going to
I
skip
think that's
around a
an
bit.
ill-informed opinion from somebody who's never been there.
I'm going to skip around a bit for time's sake, but I'm going to hit a couple like poignant
G-spots
lyrically. So it starts with, "Hey," I'm like, "Bitch, who is your man's? Hey, can't keep my dick in my pants. Hey, my bitch don't love me no more.
That's poetry.
Hey, she kicked me out. I'm like, bro.
At least it's starting
Damn,
with A.
son,
if
where'd
you're
you
in Canada.
find this? Yeah, hey, haha. Yeah.
So he is Canadian, actually.
He's not.
He's very Canadian, according to
Triple
He's
X's,
like, He's like, hey.
Hey.
Wait.
And then he repeats the same thing.
He's like,
We don't have
this
people
fucking
like that in
bitch, eh?
Canada.
And then he
Wait.
says,
What?
And
Except for
say-
Drake in The Weeknd.
I was about to take off.
Did you say A?
E-H or A-Y?
Yeah, A?
Yeah.
Spell A.
That's fucking deep.
He's like, I'm fucking sipping tea, eh?
Spell A.
Hey, that bitch don't want to be
Spell A.
friends. Hey, I
E-H.
get A-Y-Y.
That's not Canadian.
Hey, I gave her dick. She
Hey.
amen. That's church like.
Amen.
Hey,
Yeah, you can play that in church.
she put her tongue on my dick. Hey,
Hey,
look out my
face-planting
wrist. About
priests.
10. Hey, just got a pound of the boof.
The boof.
Hey, brought that shit straight to
it's
the
Canadian
boof.
too, isn't it?
Hey,
Boosh.
Tommy, my heel figure.
The
of
boof
hoops.
is short for,
Hey, she
I
said,
think
"Wanna
butt
fuck,
fuck,
bitch?" I
actually.
do.
Can I just say there's nothing more white
I'm just gonna
than
look.
Jay reading
the
these
lyrics.
Yeah. Well, I'm being white in it because I have soul, motherfucker.
Yeah, no,
You're,
Gun on my
being white
man's,
and-
hole in your parents. Oh, I'm gonna kill your parents. He just said, I'm gonna put a hole in your parents.
Oh, that's why he went. That's why they got
Uzi,
arrested.
Wait,
Uzi
how-
reference.
Oh, okay.
Fuck on me, look at me. Hey, fuck on me, look at me. A couple times.
We don't fuck with guns.
Oh,
That's
here we
probably-
go.
Was that just Jamaican pronunciation?
Verse 2.
Fuck on me, look on me.
I took a white.
Hey.
This is bad. I took a white bitch to Starbucks. That little of
course.
bitch got
And she
her
got a
throat
fuck-
fucked.
No, she did not. She got a pumpkin latte. Don't fuck around.
They fucking love Starbucks.
Yeah. There's like
And
emo
pumpkin.
references.
They
And
do.
anyway.
Pumpkin.
Oh, XXX. Why you got to be like that?
XXX.
Why you gotta be like that? Is that
Anyway.
Limp Bizkit?
He's a platinum selling artist.
Congratulations.
You're
And
welcome here anytime.
And you're welcome for your platinum record.
Yes.
All 160 downloads.
That's right. You're welcome.
What else do we got? R. Kelly, sex slave? I'd
Bear
like to talk
Buzz.
about
What's
that.
up, Bear Buzz creativity? Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just cut it short. R. Kelly got caught. I wouldn't call them sex slaves. Listen, the man has money.
You know what?
So he
Kelly
rented
he got trapped
He did. He
in a
rented
closet.
In a closet.
Which, by the way, is an awesome
motherfucker.
fucking show.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
That's a great show.
I don't necessarily. All right. So the story we're
Trapped.
talking about, obviously, is R. Kelly
I don't have cable.
was
Trapped in a
somebody's
closet.
parents. Somebody's parents came out and said that R. Kelly was holding their daughter as like a slave, and then other parents were like, "Yeah, our daughter too." But if you ask any of those daughters, none of them are like, "Yeah, I'm being held against my will." They all want to be.
Were
there.
they like, yeah,
And I wasn't even worried. I wasn't even angry about that. I was angry about the fact, and I'm still a little conflicted about this because depending on the situation, I agree on both sides of the argument. But there is a rush of people that wanted any artist to redo Ignition Remix because you can't play Ignition Remix at the club.
Oh shit!
Yeah. you can't play it at the club if the dude has legit slaves.
Here's what I don't understand.
You know?
There's an actual video of him peeing on the face of a 15-year-old
Listen,
girl.
let's
Why
not
is he
get-
not in jail?
That's
Let's
my
not,
Robert.
let's not get
Oh, is that-
He's
technical.
peeing on people. Chappelle show.
I'm gonna piss on you.
So for real though, have you guys not heard?
Have
of,
you heard Fiesta? Have you heard it?
No.
I'm just saying. Just listen
Have you
to the
guys
song.
seen Trapped in a Closet though? That's what
Yeah.
I want to know.
I have
Trapped in a Closet. It's,
I have, and I also saw the episode of South Park where it was
It's
That
so-
I
where
that I
Tom
saw.
Cruise.
So Trapped in a
And John
Closet
Travolta.
is a show, an R. Kelly
4-hour
show.
long song.
It's a show. It's a series that is the whole show is like, I mean, maybe a sitcom, but it's literally acted out. The whole thing is him like speaking in rap sing song.
Yes,
I don't
saw
think
that.
it's supposed to be a sitcom.
That's real-
it's
real
serious.
talk.
I mean, it's like
That's real talk.
Real talk.
It's real talk.
It's like,
Now I've got this dumb look
Yeah.
on my
but
face like
every episode he tells a story and he's like, I just fucking slipped on a banana and I'm fucking going in. It's like
track of time.
So for
Track
real-
one
But the whole concept is trapped in a closet. Is that he's like fucking this dude's chick, and that guy comes home and he's like, I gotta hide, and he goes in the closet. But you're literally watching a show like it was a sitcom, but everything is sung. The half-hour show is sung. And this fucking guy got home when he pulled up in the car, and the motherfucker had a knife, and I ran in the closet.
I'll tell you what,
a lot of that is?
He could fucking sing.
You know what a lot of that is?
Jim, you could sing.
Thanks, dude.
Are you King Sexy?
I'm not, but
I think you are.
Is there a King Sexy?
Did we even talk about that this time?
No.
We did not. We did not touch on that.
R. Kelly trumped King Sex.
Before we say that, I would like to point out that Weird Al, who is still alive and kicking, has a Trapped in a Drive-Thru parody of Trapped
which
in
is
a
awesome. Yeah,
well, that's the thing.
It's great.
But
It's great.
That's the point.
My daughter loves it.
That's real talk because you have to go You have to go through the situations to be able to sing about them.
Yeah.
Like
I
you
think
and
it really-
me, the only thing we could do a song like that about is
The
like
drive-thru.
I could have swore I wiped enough times, but I didn't.
But if you watch one episode
Some
of
brown stuff between my cheeks.
you watch an episode of Trapped in the Closet, and you say, "This is so stupid." 30 episodes later, you're going, "What the fuck is gonna happen?" Like you're totally sucked in. It's incredible. And some heavy shit happens. I mean, people are getting like AIDS. And stuff.
Yeah.
it's really heavy.
I felt that way about
People still get
Ex
AIDS.
Machina.
That was
Yeah,
like
but
a
it's not.
90s
It's like a
thing.
cold.
It was fashionable in the 90s.
It's a cold.
but,
He did that. He did
So
that.
who are you wearing?
you got to watch it. You got to watch it.
Well, he did that music
Misfits?
video with that James Earl. Was it James Earl Jones
Misfits.
or whoever it was?
R. Kelly did.
Yeah, the guy was like a gangster, like
And
a black
Levi's.
dude, but he was like
What
a
was
mobster.
James Earl Jones? He was.
It wasn't James Earl Jones.
He was like the
that dude's
force
name?
is strong in this one.
Well, who was it?
Ronald Isley.
It's just I can't hear what he said.
Ronald Isley.
Ronald Isley. That's what it was. Yeah. He's like one of those dudes. You know those black guys that like they just look like they're gonna smack you.
Excuse me.
They just look like they're gonna smack you at any moment. It's not like what?
Like Sam
The opinions
Jackson's,
expressed by
like,
Paulo in no way reflect the Heavy Drinking Podcast.
Oh
or any of
no!
its-
It's a good trait. It's like a manly trait. Like this dude. If I step out of line, this dude's gonna smack me.
Wait, whoa. Well, manly
Wait.
trait is this smacking?
Oh, yeah.
No, Paulo just said that he really likes that if it looks like
I wish
he
I
steps
could-
out of line, somebody's gonna smack him.
No.
Do you have
Let
like
me just.
do you have like
I'm
leather?
out of
Do you have leather
lines.
dog masks and assless chaps?
No. Let's calm down. I'm not trying to denounce the pimp hand. That's all I'm trying to.
Pimp hand. The
There's
pimp
nothing
hand's
wrong with the
pretty
pimp hand.
badass. Pimp hand's-
and
that's
Ronald
badass.
Isley has the pimp hand. That's all I'm trying to say.
You can't bring that back.
The pimp hand?
Yeah, I don't think you could at this
No,
day and
you
age.
could just. It exists.
Cat Williams is the only person that can use a pimp hand these days,
I don't
and
think
even
can
he
use
gets
it.
arrested for it
He
most of the
can't
time.
really use it.
He gets arrested pulling it through the security in the fucking
I don't think he doesn't
airport.
get arrested. He gets beat up by high school kids.
Yeah, that happens too. I mean, the guy's fucking 4'3".
That's like 4 or 5 steps below police.
Yeah.
Just high school.
You know what sucks?
Kid.
He was actually super, super funny for a real long time. And then his last special, he just got really weird, and it wasn't like good anymore.
I didn't see it.
Crack.
Like he was really funny though.
Can I say that?
Crack?
I'm pretty sure it was crack,
Well,
right?
I don't
Crack.
I don't
Or
think
cocaine. It was
I don't
crack.
know.
Crack is another late 80s kind of fun.
Yeah,
fun
AIDS,
thing.
crack, big boobs.
Listen,
80s were
I-
weird.
I lived through the crack phenomena.
Tell
Yeah.
me more.
You know what's sad?
did. It's
FX has
awesome.
a show called Snowfall where they talk about crack.
Snowfall. They're like, there's cocaine coming out of the sky.
And there's
Wait, right now?
You know what's sad? Do you know how embedded crack culture is in the US now? I'm watching the show and the actors are talking about mixing baby powder, baby formula
Terrible.
with cocaine. And I'm like, that's not how you make crack.
Baby powder
that's
was
terrible.
worse than formula. I would not like to do that.
They're like, my butt hurts, but I want to just. I don't know what I was going to say, actually.
I'm watching this whole
Jim
show.
never got past that. He wakes up all the time. You're like, my butt hurts, and I don't know.
I'll work on that. I'll work on that.
I just keep on watching the show, and they're 8 episodes in. I'm just like, at the peak is like where they're gonna find the baking soda,
And they're like, let's
Gonna
start some
find the
fucking
baking soda.
Ajax.
They're gonna find the baking
Jim,
soda.
assuming no one that you truly know is going to listen to this, worst tattoo experience to your recollection, first thing that pops in your head, go.
Worst tattoo experience.
Worst tattoo experience that pops in your head.
Did anybody ever like pass out or shit themselves or piss their pants or
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All
Yeah,
three?
Yeah. Shitting themselves? No, thank God. Throwing up in the shop on themselves on the floor. Yeah.
in the
Next time
chair?
we sit down.
So I do have one good
There we
one
go.
good
Here we
story.
go.
And it's I don't know, maybe you might appreciate. Yeah, you might appreciate it. You'll probably appreciate it. So, passing out, yeah, it's common. It happens. People get worked up. It's anxiety and stuff.
I know a guy whose first tattoo was a Superman tattoo, and he passed out when he was getting it.
Well, that's the thing, man. The people that pass out are like, I have just got it back from the military, or I am a firefighter. So I tattooed a firefighter. So I first tattooed for this guy. He was nervous.
Pussy.
Possibly. Yeah. So now, granted, I've been tattooing a long time. I've seen people pass out. It happens. You get worked up. Your heart rate's up. You're anxious. You start tattooing, and you're like, oh, it's not that bad. But the adrenaline has nowhere to go. So that's why people pass out.
Right.
And most of the time, you get a little lightheaded.
But it is funny when it's the guy that wants like a bear screaming with savage written over it, and he passes
that's
out
what
halfway.
happens. I don't know what I was tattooing on this dude, but it's like
an autonomic response too. Like you can't control.
And
it.
I can tell like they get clammy and cold. I say, hey, let's take a break, get some water, have a fucking some sugar, a piece of candy. So I'm tattooing this dude.
People get clammy while you tattoo them?
No, if they're gonna pass out.
That's gross.
So the guy, well, that's why I wear gloves, among other reasons. So I'm tattooing this dude. And it starts to happen. I'm looking at him. He turns white.
Your dick getting hurt?
No.
That happens before he's tattooed.
He turns white. He's starting to sweat a little bit. He's like, yeah, I don't really feel like it. I said, okay, let's take a break. So the guy, he's sitting in my chair and he's like, I don't feel good. Passes out. Head slumps over. I put my shit down. I grab him. It's all right, dude. Okay, man. And I'm like, all right, you're gonna be okay. He's out. He's out. His head is down, and I'm like, hey, man. Hey, man, hey, buddy. You're like, so
Tracy, get the smelling salts.
yeah, man, this guy is out. He's out pretty good. And this has happened a number of times. I'm like, yeah, he's fine. Now I'm like, he's not coming to. Usually people come to you really quick. So the freakiest part, and it's a small thing, but it's a significant thing. The guy, he's kind of coming to. He lifts his head up. And I'm like, hey, dude, you okay? I look at him, and I've never, ever seen this before. A single tear drops out of his eye, runs down his cheek, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, that was the first time I saw him. He had a rough time, and it was a small tattoo. That's real I said, funny. Dude, I didn't eat anything. Let's take a break, have a fucking snack, But the single tear, tattoo pass out story. That's classic. I never saw the single tear.
That's good.
I had a girl pass out, and I was doing a lower back tattoo, and
of course
she passed out, and she sprung out of the chair because she was like passing out, and they do like kind of like a
wake up,
like convulsing kind of thing, like boing, and she sprung out and landed in my arms.
90-degree angle.
She landed in my arms. Her husband is in there. He's like, oh my God, and I'm holding her, and she's like coming to, and she just looks at me. She goes, I want to go home. But she felt better, and she got her tattoo finished. So
my favorite tattoo story ever is actually with you, because you did my feet, and like I didn't expect them to hurt very much. I didn't know that it was going to be bad. And Jim, like for people that can't see him, he's like most tattoo artists. He's covered in tattoos, like neck to ankle, right?
Taint.
So he freehands it on he freehands it on my foot right before he like starts, and he looks at me and he's like, "You ready?" And I was like, yeah,
foot's tough.
It's fine. It's like, I've been tattooed all sorts of places. I didn't think it was going to be bad. He looks at me. He's like, none of my feet done, right? And I was like, fuck. It hurt real bad. And when I got the second one done, I said, I'm glad I only have 2 of these, because I would not do a third. They're fucking painful.
Which leads me to a question, Jeff. Do you remember the time that I stalled a needle into your ankle?
Yeah, I don't know if Jim wants us to talk about that, though.
No, we could leave it there.
Do you guys?
I happen to have a tattoo gun that I didn't know how to use.
It's called a machine.
Yes, thank you, Jim.
Tattoo machine. Gun's a bad word. I don't know.
Guns do bad things.
Guns make tats.
Like,
guns make tats. Machines make tattoos.
I know tattoo artists are not just normal people, but like, if you guys all hang out together and get trashed, and one of you passes out, do you like tattoo dicks on his forehead?
Again, Jim doesn't want us to talk about this.
Yeah.
We're gonna cut this out.
We have the editing power.
It's completely normal people. I actually wanted to start a reality show that was like, the tattooed guys, normal reality. Like I lived next to a guy that was a tattooer a couple houses down. I said, dude, we should start a reality. Like when the reality tattoo show was a craze, and it's like, this one's fucking drinking whiskey, this one's all the drama, and I'm like, how about me like mowing the lawn? Here's Jim. This week on reality tattoo show, Jim picks up the dog shit. Like totally normal shit. Now I'm changing diapers.
Instead of a dick tattoo, you just tattoo Dave Navarro on someone.
Or your brother's face.
Tattooed a dick on me? Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Jay, Gary, and I all have Gary's face tattooed on us. And
I still have to get that.
Then Jay and I grew beards, and now we just all have our own faces tattooed.
That's a great tattoo.
It is a great.
I actually may still get that tattoo.
His is better than mine, though.
I still have to get that.
Because he fucking stalled a machine in my leg.
I saw the machine. I didn't know. That's how far gone I am. I don't know. It's a machine and not a weapon.
You also didn't know where the bone was in my leg.
A weapon of mass destruction.
It was a weapon of ass destruction.
I could totally see that.
Oh, that's so funny. I'm gonna get. Oh, Jim, tattoo that above my dick. Weapon of ass destruction.
I might actually be willing to do that.
Yes. Yeah. Up top.
Which is like a great story. When I'm decrepit and retired. And what was the craziest
on some other shitty podcast?
You're like I'm definitely willing to do that.
Well,
$1,000.
It was a guy.
Well, for like about an hour, I had to hold Jeff's erect dick down.
Wait, what?
No.
Well, I tattooed above it.
I always wanted to I don't know. Well, I don't know if this is really a thing.
That was because Jeff is weird and he would have an erection the whole time. Is my point of that.
If he, more props to him if he could keep an erection with a fucking tattoo.
Well, I always thought it would be funny to get like
it was more your hand than the gun.
Starting at the
then the machine. I'm sorry.
Listen, Jeff can hold an erection
in
pretty much
some pretty dire circumstances.
That's what I've heard. Actually,
at gmail.com.
How many noise drop?
But what I always thought it would be funny to get like ruler marks tattooed on your dick. And then get like 1 inch.
I don't think it would be. I think it would be embarrassing.
No. What I was gonna do was do like 1, like 1.5, 2, 2.5, and then just be like, just kidding.
Oh no, dude! I totally beat you to it. I already have a 12-inch ruler tattooed on my cock. That's scaled down though.
Scaled to 30%.
1/8 inch equals 1 inch.
How's that the first time I've literally almost spit my beer on my microphone?
I'm all about using
great, Dave. Breaking more shit.
I'm all about dick tattoo collaborative art.
Which begs the question:
Collective arts. Shout out to collective arts.
Do you or do you not getting like spit on your ruler?
Spit on my ruler.
I totally thought of you guys.
You're welcome.
I totally thought of you guys the other day.
Yeah.
Tell us.
No, I can't.
You can't say it in the mic.
You already know.
Yeah.
I was like laughing my ass off.
No clue what that was about, but
yeah, I think they got edited out of the first.
Yeah, it did. It's gonna get edited.
Got edited out of an entire episode.
On the next podcast, we talk about the spit ruler.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Jim can't answer that
Bringing
question.
back the word viscous.
Because we know who.
Well,
this is coming out. We're editing
Wait a second.
We could edit it in the end of the episode.
Oh, yeah, big time.
We're free conversation. Here we go.
The next part of this conversation will sound like this. Bleep, 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 bleep.
No, we'll just literally cut it out.
And then Jim was like, bleep, 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 spit ruler, bleep, bleep,
bleep. No, it's simple. It's simple. We're guys.
We're guys.
All right, give a pause and break.
That was too awkward.
No, just
I was trying to make everyone just stop. Like,
just stop now.
They really want to talk about this, but they're not sure if you people want to hear about it.
Well, no.
Well, it's not going to be in the podcast.
We're men. Drew, get in on this. There's
a microphone right there.
No,
it's not going to be on the podcast. He doesn't have to talk.
It could be if we.
No,
no,
it's
I don't
not
know
going
what
to
you're leading up to, but
believe me, he
getting
doesn't want
anything that's.
Don't worry.
It's sexual.
We'll cut it
I
out.
won't let it.
Sexual is fine. Hurt. Like.
No, it's not hurtful.
No,
dude.
no.
Do you like spit on your dick when the chick spits on your dick?
Oh God.
It's not that bad. Of course.
Who's got time to run to the
No.
The lube drawer?
The medicine cabinet.
Do you like cheese on your Mac?
No,
of course.
The act of just spitting on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course. Why wouldn't you want that?
Well, I want it right now. Speaking of spitting on things, I just did an ancestry.com or what do you call it thing.
I don't know where this is going.
Every aunt he's ever had in time immemorial.
No,
was a
completely
prostitute.
bizarre because I was actually thinking about spitting on my dick, but I was spitting into
Oblivion
tube that I had to send. I have to send back and like get it tested. I was like. They're like, please fill to
Dude,
this
I thought
level.
you just like filled in on the internet like how many people you could remember in your family, and they did it from there. I didn't know you had to jerk off
Do a
into a tube.
DNA test. Now.
No, he literally spit into a glass.
I spit into a
Or a
tube and I
cup?
have to send it out. Yeah.
Is that like when like you have a dog and you don't know where it came from? It's like, oh, he's part German Shepherd.
I have a question.
It's like
Yeah,
part
actually,
dachshund.
it's exactly.
I have a question. You said I have to send it out. How long have you had this tube filled with
I just
spit?
did it this morning, man.
You just spit in it?
This morning.
Can I borrow it for like an hour?
Yeah. Or I mean, I could. I have plenty of spit to go around, so I can do it.
You can spit on all our dicks.
We could totally edit
Oh,
this
we're
out.
so gonna get laid tonight.
Dave's on point with the fucking drops today.
Do you think they actually test it, or do you think there's just some like Buffalo Bill guy there
Nah, they
with
probably
his balls tucked back, just dripping his spit into his mouth?
He's like,
And then he just like this. He like pours your spit into his mouth and slashes around.
I mean, I think they're
dancing
gonna
around.
just.
He's dancing around with his nipples.
He's like German,
He's like-
25% German.
I think they're taking it and cloning people and sending them, start a new colony on Mars or something after the inevitable destruction of the
Dude,
Earth. I don't know.
That's the funniest mental image I've ever had. Just a guy drinking people's spit and dancing and playing with his nipples, being like, 16% England.
It puts the spit in the basket.
person's from.
Put the spit in the basket.
Is that Moldova? That's fucking hilarious.
Probably fucks with a bunch of them, Henry Lee from Kentucky.
So wait,
You're-
they send you.
you're
just,
part
You just
Jewish.
reach out to them and they send you a sterile vial.
Yeah, they send you like this thing you spit,
Well,
you
you
spit
think so.
in, and like some preservative. You spit in it, you put the cap on, you shake it up, you send it back, and then it's like you're find out your.
I mean, is it like completely sealed? Like it's got tape? Like you break
yeah,
the
no, it's
seal?
super like.
What do you think? What do you think they do if you send it back filled with semen?
I told Tracy, I said, what I actually suggested that. I was like, it would be funny, right? No,
Would it be funny if they send you? Would it be funny if they send you back a letter and just said San Francisco?
I think it's gonna say
All right, so
your
hang on.
heritage is
400 homeless guys in
alcoholism.
San Francisco.
Yeah, so for the podcast, I think we have to get one of these and send it back with semen.
Oh God,
All mixed together.
No. We just send it back with
So
all
all
four
mixed
of our
together.
spit.
so
All four of our spit in one vial.
Listen, go big or go home.
That's gonna be like a reptile. This is a
No,
reptile.
you can't
Weird.
send
You're going home
semen to like some chick who's just working an internship. You can't do that.
Wait, what?
The four of us are going to spin to a tube, and it's going to come back as one of us is like a mongoloid or something.
Sasquatch.
Maybe we won't know.
It's a
until-
Sasquatch.
I pretty much
Mystery solved.
I pretty much exclusively send my cum to girls that are working in an internship. What are you talking about?
Sasquatch was created in the basement of an unknown location.
In Sheldon, Connecticut.
In
Cum squatch.
Well, hey, man.
Squatch.
Dave's
I
joking.
mean, I think we just nailed the beer buzz creativity.
I can't wait to get started on that project.
So that was an actual scientific experiment, though. They said that people with a buzz.
I know.
Did you read the story? I didn't-
0.0, yeah, people
We
with a buzz
just
of about
performed it.
0.03, not blasted, but like buzzed, actually are more creative and better at problem solving.
But I mean, think about it. Most of the people in this
Which
room,
is why
I think I
after the
agree with
first
that, yeah.
time I got this working.
yeah. But think about it. Most of the people in this room have been in bands. That's quite obvious to anybody who's ever been in a band. If you've had 2 or 3 drinks,
Yeah.
you're so much better than if you've had like come in
I
sober.
mean, I don't know if it just takes away the inhibition or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. Fucking,
No, you get loose. You get
to get jazzy.
Does
Yeah, you're not
drinking?
so like constraining yourself. Like, oh, I have to create something great.
Basically, you're like, I don't give a fuck if I make an asshole out of myself.
Exactly.
Speaking of that, how drunk is a good level to tattoo people?
From
From
me
zero-
tattooing
from
or,
zero-
or a drunk person
No, a
getting
drunk
No, from
person
you
getting-
tattooing somebody.
oh,
I don't like
know,
I
I'm
don't like to
kidding.
do that.
Obviously. Except for me after hours.
After hours. After hours, signed
how
consent
how does that
forms,
work with someone comes into you drunk trying to get tattooed?
Yeah, I always heard that like alcohol thins your blood out, so it makes it hard to tattoo. Is that real?
There's definitely some validity to it. I mean, if you got a heavy drinker, I'll notice it. Someone who's been,
you smell them before they even start, right?
But it does. I mean, you notice like bleeding a little bit more. But I tattooed a guy for years that was like pretty much a drunk, and like I just didn't notice it, and
really?
Like his tattoos were like no problem. They healed up great, and people are like, dude, what's up with that dude? Is he fucking drunk? And I was like, I don't think so. And then I realized, I paid more attention. I'm like, he's definitely drunk. But
do you think that his body just like adapted to the alcohol because he drank so much, or like?
I think it's just like everyone's different. But
see, I feel like I bleed a lot when I get tattooed, but like I'm so pasty that like it just stays. I'm like, I don't have to worry about it.
I mean, it definitely does. It definitely thins your blood.
That sounds like a rough night. Like a rough night at the gay bar. I bleed a lot when I get tattooed.
I'm so pasty.
Get tattooed, get bit on the back of the neck. Whatever. What are you doing?
Ring my bell.
That was like, dude, can you do that without your dick in my ass next time?
It's so far away.
That's right. It's a sink.
It's a good thing we don't have working water.
Whoa. Yeah. Thanks, Devin.
Fuck you, Devin.
No.
We love you. Actually, can I, on a serious note, can I shout out Devin and Katie and Marty and Uncle Chris for feeding my fish while I was in Alaska?
Thank
you guys.
No,
I love
you
you.
can't.
No one
I
gives a
love you
shit.
very much.
I want to shout out Jim Lopresti, Look at Soul Tattoo, for sticking it out with us and being a trooper.
Yeah, thanks, Jim.
Yeah, second time.
I think we should. We
Repercussions
tomorrow. Wrap it up, right? So let's all thank Jim so much for coming in.
You're welcome back.
For the record, I did. I just broke it off in the middle. Thanks, Jim, for coming. We appreciate you. We love you very much.
I love you too.
I just want to let Jim know that he's invited back whenever he wants to.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Awesome.
Yeah, Jim, we'd love to have you back after the show to talk about
let's
that.
revisit Upcycle Helmet Art Show.
Let's redo that.
Yep. Find it on Facebook, the Upcycle Helmet Art Show, and Instagram.
September
Upcycle Helmets. Yeah, September 17th, noon to 5 at
Counterweight Brewing Company, Hamden, Connecticut.
It's gonna be a good time.
Also,
delicious beers.
We keep talking about this and we just fucking never remember because we love having the conversation with each other and we just don't think about it. But Heavy Drinking Podcast at gmail.com. Heavy Drinking Podcast on all the social medias. Heavy Drinking Pod.
On Twitter, they had a character limit, so it's Heavy Drinking, no G, pod.
No G, because we're
Drinking.
cool.
Yeah, but like we've been getting
gangsta.
It's like, bitch, I'm sipping tea in your hood, no G.
We've been getting like a.
What the fuck is up?
We've been getting
the G out. You got to put an apostrophe in.
We've been getting
the same number of characters.
A respectable amount of downloads, but we're not getting any emails or anything like that. So, like us on Facebook, Instagram, and send us emails, stuff that you want to talk about.
If you've listened, let us know what you thought.
Yeah, like even if you have nothing to contribute, just tell us what you think because...
If you think we suck, tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to be a complete cuck, I'm cool with that.
Who's a cuck?
A cook?
Huh?
A what? Oh,
like a cuckold?
Yeah, who is one?
Who is one?
Yeah.
I don't. Do you know any?
Well, I don't
do you know any guys that like to watch other men fuck their wives?
How do you
know the definition?
That's what a cuckold is.
Why do you know the definition?
Disregard all that information.
So anyway,
heavydrinkingpodcast at gmail.com, heavydrinkingpodcast.com.
Can be edited,
if you hit us up on Facebook
okay.
or our website, there's also a phone number you can call, leave us a message.
Yeah.
We'll play it on our podcast. So, yeah.
And we love
Lucky
you.
Soul Tattoo.
Lucky Soul Tattoo in Woodbridge, Connecticut. Upcycle Helmet Art Show. And we love you where you pee from.
Do not call 555-1212. There's not an answering machine outside.
Paulo, I got your number. Oh, bye.
Love you.
Later, thanks.